All right, guys, welcome back to the West Georgia Sportsman. Thank you all for tuning in today. Just an informational video today. Don't worry, we got some good fishing content coming out. We got a river fishing video, and I think I might have a saltwater video coming out. Got to make sure I got a lot of wind in the background noise, so want to see if I can cut that out. But today we're doing top 4 baits to be used in a river, and then a rod and reel review. And we're going to get into the rod and reel review first, real quick. But first, want to say, if you haven't already, go and click the subscribe button, like the video, comment, all of that good stuff. I love answering the comments, anything like that always helps. But without any further ado, we'll go and get into the rod and reel review. It is a Mach 1 speed stick with a speed spool reel. The reason I wanted to do this was my good friend, the Georgia Bassmaster, gave me this. That was very nice of him. And I've used it, let's see, I got it back in the summer. So I've been using it for a good while now, somewhere last year. It's currently February, so been using it for a good while now. This is the first Mach rod and reel I've ever owned. This is the second Lew's reel. I know Lew's is, sub-company of, or Mach, I guess, is a sub-company of Lew's, but second Lew's reel, and I've currently been very impressed. I wanted a good spinnerbait rod. You can see I got one on here now. I think y'all can see, hopefully it'll focus on that, but currently got that on here. Here, I'll go ahead and show y'all the name on there. Hopefully it shows that. I don't know if it will, but I talked to my buddy Marshall and I said I wanted a good spinnerbait rod, and as you know, that's actually very hard to do because the problem with the spinnerbait, and I'll show you this right here, is it is a moving bait, and most moving baits have treble hooks, but this does not have treble hooks. A spinnerbait has like worm hook style. Let me see if I can get that to focus. Worm hook style on it. So you gotta have something that has some bend to it, but you also want it to have some give so they can suck that down. So it's very, very balanced, needs to be a very balanced rod. And I think they honestly did that with this rod, and the reel has done amazing. I've caught some good fish on this, caught a pretty good shoal bass. I should have that in the video coming up pretty soon, but caught some good largemouth last summer on this. So currently very impressed with it. Honestly, I think I will buy some more loose stuff coming up. This one in particular, let me go ahead and tell you all the specs. It is a medium heavy 610, and it is done really well for my spinner baits. I've used buzz baits on it as well, along with I'll also use it for like cranks and stuff like that, jerk baits sometimes. But anyhow, now that we're done with that, we're going to go and move into top 4 river baits. The reason I wanted to do this is I fish a good deal of rivers here in Georgia. We have a good many rivers. Georgia doesn't have too many natural lakes, but we do have a lot of rivers in here. So I thought I might as well do a river fishing video, river bait video, since I'm going to be doing some river fishing, show you all my top 4 that I use. And please, a few disclaimers. These are not the only baits you should throw in rivers. They're not only good for rivers. And also, these are Georgia rivers. That's all I've ever fished. So I don't know if up north they might be a little different. Of course, the main river that we have down here is the Chattahoochee, fairly famous thanks to its size, length, and of course Alan Jackson. And so we have that, but we have a few others as well. The Flint, the Ocmulgee are 2. The Savannah does run through Georgia. I believe it does eventually dump out into Florida, but we have all of those. And I think even the Swanee River does come through a portion of Georgia from what I understand. But river fishing is a whole other ball game than lake fishing. You're dealing with moving water. You're dealing with, oftentimes different colored water, different depths, stuff like that. Lots of different structures. So we're going to go for the top 4, with the first one being the jerk bait. So there's the jerk bait. This is just an old Rapala. It's a pretty shallow diving jerk bait. I also have another right here with me that is a little bit of a deeper diver, a Yozuri. This is the 110, I think. Yep. Yozuri 30B jerk, 3D bead jerk bait. This one goes a little deeper. But the reason a jerk bait is so good, I was discussing this with the Georgia Bassmaster today actually, is the jerk bait does not rely on you constantly moving it. So you can twitch, and let it pause and give those fish a chance to hit it. with a lot of other baits, especially in moving water, which you have in rivers, you kind of got to keep it moving for it to look natural. Don't have to do that with the jerk bait. And you always, real quick tip, you want one that has some good flash to it, and preferably a good rattle to it. This one doesn't have anything crazy. This one has a bit of a better rattle to it. But a good rattle, good flash, that's all necessary for a good jerk bait. Those are great. Now you got to be careful, choose your depth right, because you don't want to get hung up. But those are great, especially when the water's clear, the sun is shining. That really does help. Moving on to number 3. We just did number 4. Number 3 is a Rapala Shad Wrap. Rapala Shad Wrap, and you can go either the standard or the jointed. I love both of these. I really like the jointed in the river. But you know, you get 2 different colors here. I hope y'all can see that. You get your shad on the left, crawfish on the right. Those are your 2 main forages in a river, shad and crawfish. And what's so great about these is they run deep enough that you can, if you're working in an area with rocks, you can hit the rocks, let it pause, float up a bit, then run it again, keep hitting the rocks. They really like that. But I've caught so many fish on these, especially like a lot of shoal bass like them. In Georgia, we have shoal bass. It's one of the big things Georgia has because not many other places have them. And shoal bass really do like stuff like this. They really like that, especially amongst the rocks, stuff like that. So that's number 3. That's a bit of an older bait, but it's still a really effective, really good bait. And then number 2 is the jig. All right. Now I know, yes, I am already obsessed with the jig. It's not just a river bait. I use it in lakes all the time. But the reason I love it for a river is because you have so much water flowing, you have a lot of structure in a river. A lot of fallen trees, a lot of rocks, and a worm, especially like a wacky rig, something like that, is going to get hung pretty easy. A jig, thanks to the weed guard, is going to at least have a better chance. And I try to get that to focus on that. A better chance of not getting hung. And you, of course, can switch up your colors. You know, got on your right black and blue. That's an all-around good color, but also when it's stained. And then here we have more of a green pumpkin with some shine. That's really good for clearer water. But you could throw that all around that rock, all around that logs and stuff, and have a much better chance of not getting hung. Once again, another great bait for shoal bass, spotted bass, and largemouth. All of them. You can change your sizes. You know, use like a finesse or bitsy bug style of jig, something a little smaller. But that's our number 2 bait. I really love these. I like to pair it up. Let me see if I got some real quick. So the label's completely worn off of this, but what this is Bang crawfish spray. You can find this in Bass Pro. Walmart sometimes has it. Academy sometimes as well. I like to spray that on there, give it a little scent. But once again, the jig coming in at number 2, excellent bait. And then my all-time favorite river bait is the spinnerbait. I love a spinnerbait. I love it for anywhere, but specifically for the river because it has some flash, has some good movement. But you can run it at any depth you want it to. It's going to attract the fish's attention. You know, you can choose lots of different colors. Here I've got, and these are Bateman Special spinner baits. Here I've got a double willow leaf white and a little bit of chartreuse. That's really going to imitate a shad really well. It's really going to do good in a little muddier water. This right here is called the Alabama Crawl is what they call this, but it's really just a red and with a gold blade, a good crawfish imitator. That's gonna do real good. I've even got one, I was using one today in a creek, a pretty big creek close to a river. Using one today, I just showed y'all this, and another great shad imitator. So I love a spinnerbait. That's my number 1, and honestly, my favorite is a double willow leaf white or white and chartreuse. And when the river gets really muddy, I'll use one with like a lot of chartreuse in it, painted blades, all that sort of stuff. But there is the top 4 river baits. And honestly, these are all really great baits in of their own, but in the river, they really do shine. You know, you get that moving water. So these are all tailored just to that. So anyhow, if you got any river baits that you like, just comment. I love reading the comments. It's awesome. So mention that. But I feel like some of these are kind of passed over, especially like the shad wrap. I don't feel like that gets used as much. But please keep these in mind next time you go on a river trip. There are excellent, excellent baits for all of this. If you get the chance, check out the Mach 1 speed stick. I'm not sponsored by them, but I honestly really like the rod, so I would suggest that to anyone looking for a good rod and reel combo. Go check out the Georgia Bassmaster. He's the one who gave me this, and he's the guy who I went on the river with last time. That's going to be maybe the next upcoming video. We did some show bass fishing. That was a lot of fun. In fact, most of them were caught on this exact setup right here. So that was a lot of fun, and the rest were caught, or the only other one was caught on the jerk bait. So anyhow, we had a good time, and anyhow, I hope to see y'all next time. God bless, and I'll talk to y'all later.